questions.
His mortal remains have now entered the crematorium, and the last rites will be taking place any short while from now. Neha Bhasin is also with us. Neha, it's been a hard year for the music industry, with the passing away of Lata Mangeshkar, Bappi Da, and now KK.
Yes. Yesterday was a very grim day because it almost felt like an end of an era for artists like me who grew up listening to KK, and he was a cult breaker, an icon who from the pop industry came into Bollywood. So I've always loved him. I met him in 2017. The best people I've ever met in our industry, the best heart. So it definitely is a very grim time to lose so many good artists. And KK being, kind of like right there in the vicinity in terms of also he's just 14 years my senior. It's just also very shocking and very scary. But the only solace, if at all, is that people got to see him perform. He was one of the best performers we ever had in the country. And I want people to remember him like that. Smiling face, wonderful performer, and the pipes of literally the golden pipes. I think he has the golden pipes.
Right. Neha, do you mind sharing some details about your interaction with him? Everybody that we were speaking to has been describing him as a very humble, down-to-earth person.
Yes. So obviously he's way my senior, not just in terms of age, but in terms of his experience. And even then when I met him, I finally met him in 2017 for the film launch of a film that we both had sung for. And I told him that I love him and I've always been a fan. And he literally spoke to me like a friend. Like I didn't feel like he was my senior. And I've met a lot of arrogant people in the industry. So, you know when somebody's that talented, that accomplished and that humble. So he always made everybody feel very, very warm, very welcome around them. He wouldn't fight for, to perform before you. He just never made you feel like he's more important than you are. So that's something to learn from him for sure. He was just very comfortable in his skin, and he made everybody else feel that way as well.
Absolutely, and not just hit Bollywood songs, but the 90s when the artists would come up with their albums, their singles, and every song that KK sang was a hit.
Yes, his iconic album Pal, for all of us. I mean, also the videos that he made at that time. Very ahead of its time in terms of the quality that he was producing, the songs that he was producing. And he just had a very different voice. Like I said, usually in the pop industry, people may have like a good voice, but they may not have the pipes that he had. But he just had it all going for him. And he had that pop rock, very Bryan Adams sort of a feel about him, which we all love because we all grew up listening to English music. So KK was like that. In fact, I want to share one more thing that I told Vishal Shekhar the same thing yesterday, that his song Tu Aashiki, Jhankar Beats, was such a cult-breaking song for all of us because it had so many harmonies and it had so much going on in the song that it gave me a great glimpse into what Bollywood could sound like. So, people like Vishal Shekhar, KK, Shankar Asano, they were all collectively changing the sound of the industry and giving us children at that point hope that we could also fit here and not have to probably be fully classically trained at that point or, stuff like that. So KK is inspirational in more ways than one, and hence it feels like a personal loss.
Neha, I mean, KK had this evergreen element in him. I mean, he was still performing at a college fest. And that was the kind of welcome that he had received even from the students there. But thank you very much for joining us here on the broadcast.